Another news updates from Al Niger. Just do not forget to like, follow and share. If you are watching from our YouTube channel, please subscribe and share. Atiku reveals APC's scheme to intimidate judges and threaten them with arrest. Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate, claims that a dark scheme is afoot to undermine Nigeria's democracy and judicial system. Atiku urged Nigerians to exercise caution while alerting the foreign community in a statement issued by his media advisor. A new scheme has now been started by them. This time, they intend to use intimidation to persuade the judges to rule in their favor at the Electoral Tribunal, according to Atiku. Atiku Abubakar, the People's Democratic Party's (PDP) presidential nominee, has charged the All Progressives Congress (APC) with attempting to undermine the judiciary. The Independent National Electoral Commission's (INEC) announcement of Bola Tinubu, the APC candidate, as the winner of the 2023 presidential election is being contested by Atiku and Peter Obi of the Labour Party (LP). The failure of Tinubu to receive at least 25% of the votes cast in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) was one of the reasons for the challenge. The FCT is the 37th state for election purposes, according to Tinubu, who made this argument through his attorney Bola Tinubu, and any other interpretation would lead to absurdity, chaos, anarchy, and alteration of the very intention of the legislature. Atiku said the plot of the APC is simple: intimidate the judiciary, threaten judges with arrest so that they will bow to their will. This is a playbook from 2019, when they removed the CJN and then replaced him with Tonko Mohammed, who himself was later accused of corruption by his colleagues at the Supreme Court and resigned shamefully. The APC strategy is straightforward: frighten the judiciary by threatening judges with arrest in order to get them to submit to their demands. This is a playbook from 2019, when they fired the CJN and replaced him with Tonko Mohammed, who was then accused of corruption by his Supreme Court colleagues, and abruptly resigned in part, according to the statement. Paraphrasing too sadly, this has become the stock in trade of the All Progressives Congress to intimidate the judiciary. Recall that in 2019, the APC-led federal government similarly removed the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Anowen, when it was obvious that he would not bend to their will. Sadly, this has become the stock in trade of the All Progressives Congress to intimidate the judiciary. Recall that in 2019, the APC-led federal government similarly removed the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Anowen, when it was obvious that he would not bend to their will. The Department of State Services similarly stormed the homes of judges in 2016 and 2017, all in a bid to beat the judiciary into submission. The plot of the APC is simple: intimidate the judiciary, threaten judges with arrest so that they will bow to their will. This is a playbook from 2019, when they removed the CJN and then replaced him with Tonko Mohammed, who himself was later accused of corruption by his colleagues at the Supreme Court and resigned shamefully. However, the APC government never went after Tonko Mohammed, as they did in Anowen's case, because it was never about corruption but election. The APC has, over the years, built a reputation of judiciary intimidation. They accused about 10 judges of corruption, stormed their homes, and got them suspended, and yet could not convict a single one of them. Justice Sylvester Muta of the Supreme Court could not recover from the embarrassment that he ended up dying in office. Now, they have initiated a new plot. This time around, they want to intimidate the judges into delivering favorable judgments for them at the election tribunal. We draw the attention of the international community and, indeed, Nigerians to this fresh plot to steal the mandate of over 200 million people. We are also urging Nigerians to abide by the golden rule of eternal vigilance, being the price of liberty. The PDP candidate appealed to security agencies in the country to remain professional in the discharge of their duties and resist being used as instruments of oppression and intimidation against the judiciary. Presidency: Atiku's bid to blackmail the judiciary will fail. In a swift reaction, ALEC said the Atiku statement was ill thought out and bereft of proof to back the claims of the former VP. Apart from innuendos, insinuations and outright lies contained in the said press statement, the former Vice President Atiku didn't put forward any convincing argument to support his claims on how the President Tinubu-led administration and APC sought to undercut, undermine and compromise the judiciary, the president's spokesman said. He added, if the former vice president believes in democracy and the sanctity of the judiciary, as claimed, he would not engage in making spurious and wild allegations aimed at disparaging and discrediting an important arm of government that should serve as the bulwark for our democracy. He shamelessly resorted to this cheap attempt to intimidate and blackmail the judiciary even when he is party to a case before the Presidential Election Tribunal. Let it be said that when it comes to matters of fighting for democracy and democratic ideals, rule of law and independence of judiciary in Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu stands shoulder above Atiku Abubakar. When President Tinubu was leading the charge against the emasculation of the judiciary and promoting the sanctity of rule of law as the building block for good governance as governor of Lagos State between 1999-2007, under a PDP central government, Alhaji Atiku was nowhere to be found. It is on record and to his eternal credit that President Tinubu, through the instrumentality of the law and judiciary, successfully challenged many of the draconian and obnoxious decisions of the PDP-led federal government that trampled on the rights of the states as federating units. Lagos State, under the leadership of the then Governor Tinubu, won over 13 cases up to the Supreme Court against the Hydra-headed PDP administration at the center. No leader with such a sterling and enviable credential as a champion of rule of law, independence of judiciary like President Tinubu, will ever contemplate undermining the judiciary, as alleged by Alhaji Atiku. President Tinubu won a free, fair and credible election. The February 25, 2023, presidential election that produced him, is the most transparent election ever conducted in Nigeria since 1999. President Tinubu and the APC absolutely have no reason to undermine the judiciary in the hope of any favorable judgment. His lawyers and that of APC have presented very solid defense of the result of the election, and reassure the judiciary will impartially deliver its ruling on the basis of points of law and evidence before it, not based on presumptuous speculations and unfounded accusations. Atiku Abubakar should be honorable enough as a statesman to allow the judiciary to perform its sacred duty without harassment and this resort to self-help. Attempting to discredit an important institution of state for selfish political end is disingenuous, shameful, and unbecoming of a former vice president of Nigeria. This desperation must stop. Your allegation is arrant nonsense, APC replies ex-VP. In a swift reaction last night to the Atiku statement, the APC labeled it arrant nonsense. National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Felix Morka, said the former VP and his minions offered no evidence to support their wild, hollow and mischievous allegations. He added, quite frankly, there is nothing in Atiku Abubakar's statement that is worth a reaction from the APC. It is just arrant nonsense, totally lacking in substance and cogency. Its only imaginable purpose is a childish attempt to float an alibi to deflect the shame of a highly probable defeat in court, having miserably failed to make a credible case to justify his bogus claim that he won the last presidential election. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and our party won the election convincingly. We have full faith and confidence in our court to dispense electoral justice in accordance with our constitution and all applicable laws. Stay with us as we bring you more updates. Thanks for watching. Like, follow and share. If you are watching from our YouTube channel, please subscribe and share, and do visit again.